Welcome to our video series on building your first application with Caspio Flex. In this video, we'll explore DataParts, which are individual user interfaces of your applications, such as forms, reports, charts that power our application's workflow and functionality. We won't be creating all the DataParts, but we'll walk you through a few examples to help you better understand the process so that you can continue building your own DataParts. Let's start off by creating a lead generation or a contact us form that anyone who visits our website will be able to fill out. Before creating a data part, we need to choose the app page where we plan on adding it. If you haven't created an app page yet, go ahead and create one first. Then make sure you're in the app page that you want and not in the segment settings. Next, click on Add Elements at the top, and this will bring up all the different data parts that can be created. Keep in mind that when you're in the segment settings and click Add Elements, data parts won't appear as the option. You can only add widgets, which serve a completely different purpose. I will select Submission Form. I'll select the Contacts table and then choose the fields I want the public to fill out. I'll select all the fields except for Assign to ID and Notes. Those two will be for internal use only. Click Next. You have many options here how to customize the look and feel of your form. The only change I will make in the interest of time are making the comments field a text area. I'll turn the contact method field into radio buttons and quickly add 3 custom values: phone, email, and no preference. Finally, I'll change the status field into a hidden field and assign a default value of new. This means that all submissions initially will be flagged as new. When done, click on Save, and we should now be able to see that form show up on our app page. You can move the form around to make space for other data parts. You can resize the form. You can also add a quick heading to your form, such as Contact Us, and instantly be able to see that update displayed on your app page. Be sure to review other configurations you can make using the right panel. We also recommend that you name your data parts in the upper right corner, as they will be used throughout the building process and will make them easier to locate. Let's move down to Manage Contacts app page and see how we can create a report that allows admins to view and manage each of the submissions. Let's add a new element and select Search Form. We will once again select the Contacts table. Let's select our search fields. We'll choose first name, last name, email, status, and Assign to ID. Click Next. Now we'll want to turn the status field and the Submitted by ID field into drop-downs to make our data easier to filter. I'll start with the status field, select drop-down. I'll choose both for source. And then under custom values, I will type in any status so that it returns all the contacts regardless of the status. And then under lookup table, I will choose the status lookup table we created in the tables video. Next, we'll go to Assign to ID field. Once again, choose dropdown. I'll rename the label to Assign to indicate the correct action for the admin. Once again, I'll select both for source. And under custom values, I will add all employees so that it returns all the contacts if that option is selected. And finally, under lookup table, we will choose our employee directory, select full name for display, and choose user GUID for value. Now you can see the value of creating the full name as we did in the directories video. When done, simply click Save. Be sure to update the name of your data part as mentioned earlier. Next, let's add the results page by clicking on Add Elements and selecting Tabular Report. We'll choose our contacts table and select a few fields to be included in the results. Click Next, and for now we'll just hit Save to see what the initial report looks like. Now, because we're building this app from scratch, it's normal to see no records found because we don't have any data inside our contacts table yet. You could import data to your contacts table from Excel or comma delimited file, but in the deployment video of this series, once we publish the application, you will see how we populate data into our reports. Let's once again rename our data part so it's easier to locate as we continue to make progress with the application. In order for the search to work with the results, we have to set the filters on the results page. Select the results data part and click on the Set Filters button. What we're trying to do here is to have this data part filter data from our table based on the values in the search form. So I need to take each of the fields of the search form and specify how it's used to filter data of the table. Create a filter, and let's build it. Include the first name. Select Contains as the filter type because we want to be able to return any first name containing any letter we type. Filter results by data part field. Click on Manage Contacts. Select Contact Search and then First Name. Click Save. Let's create 2 additional filters for last name and email really quickly following the same exact steps. For status and assigned to ID, the setup is slightly different. We'll add a new filter, choose status, and this time we'll select is equal to because the values in the dropdown are static. Choose data part field, select search contacts from the admin segment, and map it to the status field from the search form. When done, click Save. We'll quickly create the same filter for assigned to ID as well, following the same exact steps. The filtering section is an extremely robust system that will allow you to set much more complex filtering for your reports. We'll test the search and filter functionality in the deployment video. If additional settings are required, you can find them on the right panel and quickly update your data parts. For example, if I want the admins to delete contacts, you can easily toggle that on or off. Next, let's quickly create a form that allows admins to create a contact and assign it to a sales rep. We'll click on that app page and then add elements. From here, we can drag the submission form data part to our app page. I'll select the contacts table we created in the tables video, and then I'll select all the fields to be included in the form. The important field here is the assigned to ID so that the admin can select the employee from the dropdown. We'll hit Next, and now we'll configure each of our fields. Same as before, we'll create a dropdown for our status field and configure our dropdown options. Next, I will select the assigned to ID field, turn that into a dropdown. I will rename the label to assigned to, and choose both for source. I'll type select employee under custom values. And then for lookup table, we will once again pick the employee directory, choose full name for display, and user GUID for value. Feel free to modify your other fields however you want. I'll go ahead and click Save. We have now created a form for the admin user to add new contacts and assign them to the sales reps. Follow the same steps to create the rest of your data parts for your users. For each data part that you create, don't forget to include a heading if needed and to name your data part so it's easier to locate in the building process. This concludes our video on how to create data parts. Thanks for watching. To learn more about data parts, please visit our knowledge base at howto.caspio.com.